We have all of these sets from our friends at Find It Trading, which is in Holland, and they are already die cut for you. Just pop them out, and there are so many things that you can do. In fact, this is one, and I'll just show you. Wow, look at that. Okay, please come play with us. So before I get started, I have good news and bad news to share with you. We bought out everything that they had for all of these, but two of them have sold out. One of them is this. Now I have placed the name of them in the upper right hand corner. Awesome Winter has sold out before I could even show you the projects I made, but many of them are interchangeable. So the things I'm going to show you, you can use with multiple of the sets. So hopefully that makes sense to you. So I'm going to still show you what I made with the Awesome Winter, and you can use it with some of the others. So Awesome Winter has sold out. I'm really sorry. I'll put this back so we can ship it to whoever ordered it. And the snowmen sold out too. I'm really sorry. But this really neat card you can make with some of the others. So with that very sad beginning, we'll show you what's going on. Okay, so here we go. So for the first card, I used Winter Rose and Winter Birds, both of them on one card. And you'll see that these have circles and squares in different sizes on the same package. And that's kind of neat because it just gives you lots of options. And I chose to use the dotted duos. This is number 2, and you can see on the front of the card. Now this is the 5 by 6.5 inch card, so obviously. And I did trim the papers down to be smaller than the card because I really wanted to show the white that's in the art. And I also wanted to play with that in the dazzles, as well as the poinsettia that I added just to give it a little bit of an oomph. And it was really fun to play with different specialty papers in there. So to begin with, because this has the blue, I went with the smaller. There's 2 sizes of dots, and I don't know if I can show you. Yeah, okay, I'll show it to you here. So like this has got a small dot and a larger dot on the back side. So I went with the smaller dot on all of them, and you can see that here. So we'll just start with the top, with the front of the card. So that's Dotted Duos number 2. It's got blue. It has also pink. It's got orange. It's got a cream, a purple, and obviously the blue that I'm showing you. So then I chose the square one, and obviously it's this one, so it's the larger. I could have gone with a circle. That would have been fine. And many of the dazzles will go in a circle. In fact, this one certainly would have. But I wanted to keep the same. This is a rectangle, obviously, but I wanted to keep that same straight lines because I'm going to do the poinsettia, which is in a circle. And I used the Christmas Past cutting dies because that's brand new and it's just really fun to have. And so that was neat. And it was fun to play with the different papers. So what I did, let's see, well first let me show you which dazzles I used. And this is the new Stitch dazzles. Now this comes in a package with black, white, gold, and silver. Obviously I used white. Now one of the things that I did, or what I found, is that when I'm laying this down, so starting here and going there and then going across, I had a gap at the corner. So after I finished going all the way around, I had to go back and add one loop in the corner. So that was interesting, easy to do, of course, but you'll find that if you duplicate this project. So that was fun. So, you know, kind of giving you all of my learnings. And then also, as I was doing this, I really wanted to play with the different kind of papers. So to do my poinsettia, I wanted to go with whites, keeping into the white things. And I didn't want to play with the blue because I wanted this piece to stand out. So I used white vellum, I used snow white suede, and I used white glitter. So the three of them are the different layers, and I used the small poinsettia for the two top layers, and then the vellum for the bottom layer. So you can see that going on. For the leaves, I use the asparagus suede, and it has, it's not as deep a green, so it's just a softer green, and I thought that worked much better, again, with the art, so it doesn't kind of draw your eye, but it just really supports this. The other thing I used is the caviar beads, and that just is going to play really nicely here. And all you'll do, if you're not familiar with these, because they are brand new, and is you're going to take the Cosmic Shimmer glue and make sure that you've got a hole that it will squeeze some out. And so I left a little bit of a hole there, so let me just make sure this is going to work. And I realized, foolish us, that we didn't have any tweezers, so we only had one pair left. So we have ordered more, and we've ordered this kind that has, there you go, you can see it, this very much of a tip, and they're just really nice to be able to use. So let me just squeeze out a smidgen of the glue, and there we go. And then we can just put in a bit of the caviar beads, and you're going to get a package just like this. This will last you not forever, but pretty close to it. So I'm just going to drop a couple of them there. And if I were doing the whole of them, I would put this in a bowl. Yeah, that's exactly why. Because you can go trailing them all over. Okay. So this is not the ideal way to do them, but it's just, I just think it gives such a really nice look to your project. There you go. And I just think they're gorgeous. So this is the gold set. There, I'll be using a different one on the inside, and I'm going to take those extras and foolishly just toss them away. Normally I would put them back in my Ziploc baggie. Now, the Just For You is coming from the 500 script greetings. There are 12 sheets in here. There are 3 designs. I purposely made this card not Christmas because I just thought it was nice to have something that is year-round. Okay, now we'll go to the inside of the card. Now I'm going to go to the inside of the card where I use the, let's see, this is the Winter Birds. Again, same thing, it's got squares and circles, and I chose, obviously, the circle, and I chose this one, the smaller circle, and I really kind of played a little bit. I obviously used the red dot. I could have used, whoops, I was thinking of using the, there's a cream in here. Oh, here it is. In the dotted number 1, or excuse me, the dotted number 2, there is a cream, and I did think about using that, but it looked awfully pale to me. It would have worked, but you know, I kind of like color, if you haven't noticed that already. So I went back to the Dotted Duos number 1 and selected that and chose the red, and I just thought that really accented the berries, and I thought that was really fun, and that allowed me to use the caviar beads red in the center of that poinsettia. So I did the same size of the small dot red and glued it inside, and then placed the small winter birds right there. And this is the same package, the same sheet rather, of the stitch dazzles. And again, like I said, you can use them to go in a circle, and that worked very, very nicely. I didn't have to make any adjustments like I had to in the other. I did purposely put this on a different side. Here it's on the left side. I put this on the right side so there wasn't going to be any super bump in my card. Same idea, although this time I only had 2 layers. So I opted to use the glitter, and I had the vellum on the bottom. And it was really kind of interesting when I was thinking about, okay, what whites do I have? And I got to the suede and I got to the glitter and I thought, okay, what other white? What other white? And then it occurred to me that, you know, vellum, well, vellum, although it is translucent, it is white. And so that was a nice aha moment. So I removed the suede this time and just did these 2 layers just to keep it a little bit flatter. But I did keep with the asparagus suede for the leaves, so that worked nicely. And as you can tell, to accent those berries, and this is exactly what happens when you duplicate a color, it's going to pop the color that you have here. So you can see it's much more pronounced because this is showing it, it's duplicating it. So this is the red caviar beads. And so that's really nice in my world. And then Happy Birthday is again part of the 500 dazzles, script greeting dazzles, and that's just right down below. Now, this could be a card front, and this is a card front. So it just gives you another idea, and that's what I wanted to do in this webisode. I wanted to give you a lot of ideas that you could apply to any of these, especially as the number of them are shrinking. So, and again, you can apply these 2 ideas to any of the shapes, and so that was my goal for you. And as you know, you can make at least 4 cards out of every single sheet in those packages of papers. So that's where we're going. Okay, let's get to my next card, and we will move that along. Oh, one other thing I didn't tell you. It's really hard to see, but I did ink the edges of this one with the Velvet Fawn and my blending brush. Here's my blending brush. Just a little bit. I just wanted to give it a tiny bit of distinction around the edge, so I did do that. It's in the instructions that's down below, as I usually do for you. So there we go. Okay, now I'm going to give you this and talk about what you can do since those cute little snowmen are gone. And I want to tell you something why I had to tear this apart. That doesn't happen with me usually, but it did happen this time, and I'll tell you why. Nice to give you that little exclaim as I begin, isn't it? So I did start with the Dazzle cards, and these have been really fun to use because it's got the art in black and white pen, or on black art on a white card. They are 5 by 6.5, of course. It's got 5 cards and 5 envelopes. And I did think about what size of the cutting die that I wanted to use. And I really kind of pondered back and forth. Did I want to go with a bigger one or a smaller one? Because I knew that I wanted to make that opening to kind of peek into the holographic paper. So let me pull this out. Sometimes that's easier said than done because they stick to the package. Okay, so here is the smaller size, and then this is the next larger. Okay, so you can see my dilemma. So it would have been easy to go either way. I chose the smaller one, and I think that was the right decision because I knew I wanted to use the soft Snowfall from Hunky Dory because it's a new product, and it would give me that snowy look. and it gave space for it. So that's why the smaller one was the better choice in this project. Now, so this card being 6.5 inches wide is not going to fit if you've got a big shot or the Gemini Junior. So what I did is I turned it, let me get my notification out of the way. I put my cutting die and I put it with the low-tack tape, put it right there, and I put paper over it, and then close this and run it through my machine right like that. So it is going through my 5-inch opening, and that worked perfectly. Then I placed this on my craft mat and used my blending brush with Prussian blue to really do a good job around the edges. Now, it's darker at the edge and lighter as I go toward the center. And I really covered it probably up to about 1/2 inch from the opening. I did that quite purposely. So I'm going tap, tap into there. And then as the ink is getting lighter on my brush, I'm bringing it in and just went all the way around it. Took a couple of times, but I'm really pleased with the result, because it gave me that kind of glow around the edge. So then, set that aside. I found that in using the soft Snowfall, it's best to have put it in a tub with a lid, because that way you're not going to have the static electricity happening as you're working with it. Okay, so I told you I had a problem, and my problem was I somehow had a pin in my Cosmic Shimmer glue that got rusty, and so my glue got brown. And I mistakenly thought, oh, I could go ahead and use it here, because won't my snow cover it up? Wrong, because what happened is after it dried, I had rusty snow. It was not a pretty look. So I carefully tore my snow off. This is the same card. I squeezed out my rusty glue. I don't always, I really want to share all this with you. And then I simply put my glue down again, brought this into my tub of snow and dipped it into the snow. That just is the best way to handle the snow. Oh, tapped it off, tap, 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 and kept it into that tub, and you end up having a beautiful look of snow, and it's going to dry like this, so it's going to stay fluffy. Now, you don't want to put it in an envelope right away. You want to let it dry, and that way it's going to stay nice and fluffy, and I just love it. So that's my recommendation for what to do and what not to do. And I hope you appreciate not only my honesty, but my ability to do things that will not always work, and to share that. Okay, my snowflakes. Now, my snowflakes went over the art. I guess I did that all the time. I did go over the art, so you can do that or not as you like. These are the snowflakes, snowflake dazzles. There's 10 sheets in here, different sizes of snowflakes, and that just did a nice job. Now, had you been able to buy, I'm really so sorry. We did buy all they had. It was called Snowmen. This is the last one on the planet, but it's missing the circle. But let me just tell you, I purposely chose a round one. So because this is an oval, it was a rounded, and I just kind of like the idea of having that rounded shape. You could do a square one. So whichever one you want to use, because a lot of these have snow in them, so that's going to work nicely. But I chose the holographic snowflakes, this wonderful blue sheet. Isn't that great? and just covered the inside of my card with this. But first, I took the acetate, the Snowfall acetate, you see it right there, and simply trimmed it to fit, attached it with extra sticky tape, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for some reason, I don't have a package of it. Let me, oh, there it is. Yes, I do. Here it is, the extra sticky tape. It's got the liner on it. Okay, and I put it right here and attached it there. So that way you've got snow on the front and you've got snow right there. Now, if you don't like the look of this, you can cut just a piece of white cardstock. You can make the oval again and just glue that on top of it. That would be perfectly fine. Or you could take a piece of this and glue it and have wow. And have wow. You could have that on both sides. That would be fun. So either way you would like it. Okay, so here you're going to cover this, and then this is going to just pop right out. You can put it here. Make sure it's going to show. Now that's important. Then dab some more glue and sprinkle your, actually just dip it into your container of your soft Snowfall. So you see you've got kind of your hard Snowfall acetate, then you've got soft Snowfall. Then adding more of the Dazzle snowflakes. Isn't that pretty? Now the Merry Christmas came from this set of Dazzles. And this set has 120 Merry Christmas. So it's on different sheets with different colors, but they've got Merry Christmas all over. Obviously this is a red one. This came on a white sheet. So that's just going to fit nicely there, and it's not going to show when the card is closed. Now, because my snowmen are gone, I just want to share that. I've got snow everywhere. It's kind of fitting, isn't it? I wanted to share that, what you could do. So, okay, so we have Whispers of Winter. That little bird could go in there. See, I think that looks very nice, and it works with the snow. You could put, let's see, how about that little squirrel? That could work. That little bird could also work. Let me see. And I think that you've got a lot of things. We've got a cute little robin, and how about Santa right there? So I think that the designs that I've done are really going to work with any of these pieces, okay? So hopefully you agree. Are you shaking your head? Yes, you agree. I hope you do. Okay, let's move on to the next project. Here we go. Now this is also a card structure that I think works with a lot of these, and it will lie flat and it will fit into our 10 envelopes. So here's the 10 envelopes, and there you go. See, it will fit. And super easy to do. Now I have chosen, here we go. This is made out of the, there are only 67 of these left, that's why that's there. This is Christmas Aglow paper, and the sheet that I used is this one. What's happening here? Oh, here it is. Okay. It is this sheet because it has that side. Now, with this paper, I want to show you the back side of it. Isn't that pretty? This is a designator we use because this is the webisode, the October 7th, 2024. It's the third one that I did, so that when we photograph them, we can identify them within our system. So I'm getting rid of that. But isn't this pretty? So, as you know, you can get 4 cards out of every sheet of 12 by 12, but isn't that gorgeous on the back? So when you go to cut this, I want to make sure that you cut it on this back side, starting here on the left, so that you've got a beautiful back. Okay? So this is the paper. It's got this plaid, and you need to cut it so that it measures here. 8.5 by 5. And then you're going to do some scoring. So measuring from the left, let's get a little bit closer. Here we go. 1.5, then 2.5, then 6, then 7. Now, I do find, and I agree with Heidi on this, that using the scoreboard is just super, super easy. It's got the bone folder right there, and you can just do the 1.5, 2.5, 6, and 7. Super easy. We do like to use the 1/4 inch extra sticky tape, and you're going to place it on the 2 outside pieces, the top and the bottom, okay? Because that's where we're going to place the Snowfall acetate. And that is going to measure 6.5 by 5. And what you'll do is you will fold these 2 in mountain folds, 2 on the outside, the 2 on the inside in valley folds. And then it's going to look like this. And then it's going to collapse like that. Okay? Then when you tear off the liners, these 2 are going to attach just like that. And that's your structure. You don't want to attach that yet, okay? So let me set these down. And what I did is I took the deer from the Christmas scenery, and let me get the whole sheet for you. Now there's a Christmas scenery round, and there is a Christmas scenery square. Okay, it's the exact same art. There's the square and there's the round. You've got the same art on both. I chose the square because it's going into a square area. It just made it easier. But because it is this kind of rusty red, I really wanted to jazz it up with, well, of course, foiling, of course. So when I took the deer, so it's this one, I matted it onto the Miri, the rich gold Miri. And it's got a very narrow mat on it because there isn't a ton of space. And I didn't want to trim it down very much. So I think you can see that it's got about 1/8 of an inch. And I just glued it just pretty close to the top because I wanted to leave room for Merry Christmas at the bottom. And I thought this was more of an old world Christmas look in the art, and then also I duplicated that in the papers using the Christmas Aglow papers. So that felt really nice, and it felt like it really matched. The Merry Christmas that I used is this set. It's Christmas Greetings Gold. So it's one sheet, and there's many styles on here. Obviously I used this one and just placed it down there. Now you want to have all of this done before you attach the Snowfall acetate. Make sense? Okay, so that's easy to do. Boy, you could whip a ton of these out at the same time. Okay, now going to attach the acetate. Then I used our new Holly Dazzles. This is new this year. And there's a border on it that is on this side. And I just ran it down the left side. That was really pretty. but there's only one of those borders. So then I use some of these swirls on the right-hand side, and I didn't think that was quite enough to finish it off. So I use the gold thin line dazzles, and I just went around the whole edge. And I thought that just did a nice job of finishing it. But then I thought, okay, now where are you going to write your message? So I turned it over, and I added from that first sheet, I added that little holly piece, which there's several on here, and I added blessings. And then I've got a little bit to add. And because this is going to fold flat, I can write my message. And I was really very pleased to have that design on the back. So just really, really pretty. And there are several reds in that package. There's also some greens that you could use to, to do your Christmas cards this way. And this is going to work for masculine cards too. So when we get out of Christmas, that's going to work nicely. And like I said, I think this is going to work beautifully with many of the other looks. So you can do it with the square cards. You could also do it with the round ones. You're just going to have to be careful of the size fitting in there. But like I've said, many of these will work with other of the designs. So we've got Whispers of Winter in squares. We also have the ones that I just showed you earlier. So we've got those winter birds. That's going to look beautiful in there. So we've got, you can just play a lot of mixing and matching, which is unusual for us because normally we have things that just work only together. But in this case, we've got a lot of mixing and matching and playing that we can do. That's nice. Now, I do want to iterate that on the Christmas Aglow, we only have 67 of those packages. So just forewarned. Okay, I've got one more card to share with you. This has been really fun to do, and I'm so sorry some of them have sold out, but that's the way we go. Okay, here is another one. Now this is using, let me pull this out. You get this sweet owl. There you are. Okay, this is Whispers of Winter. So you can see him. So there's an owl on the front, and yes, I kept with my Christmas past cutting dies, and look at that Mary at the bottom. And then on the inside, I'm using that sweet squirrel. Now I did show you that playing with the first card, I believe, and also with the snowman card, but it's full stage here, Whispers of Winter squares. And I must have, do we have Whispers of Winter circles? Nope, we don't. Okay. So that's just how they titled them. Okay, so let me show you what we did here. So in this case, we are using the Snowfall 6x6 papers. And you can probably tell that we use this one for the front. And this is just so nice because it gives you that opening. Now, I did use the square, as I said. In fact, that's where the owl came from, right there. And I really kind of wondered, gee, was that really going to work, having a square in here? Should I have cut it into a circle or what? And I decided that I'm going to end up putting the snowflake dazzles around it, so I think that would cover up that square, and I thought it did. If you feel differently, you can certainly get the circled cutting dies and cut it into a circle. I didn't want to go into the artwork and, kind of damage it in any way, so, just do what you think. Let me just show it to you. There it is in full form. So you decide what you want. I was happy with it. So we did have to cut the paper. I wanted to leave this piece in the middle of the card and then just trimmed off the edges. I did leave the white card showing, again, 5 by 6.5 inch card. And so I did trim it to fit. and glued it to the front of my card. And then I did want to have some of the silver showing, so I did line it with the silver thin line dazzles. So I've got a little silver edge all the way around it. So silver and blue are the colors that are going to be going on. And then I did go back into my cutting dies. And at this point, my table is absolutely littered with product. Oh, here it is. Right here, my Christmas past cutting dies, which are just so versatile. And let me show you what I elected to use here. You can kind of see it right there. So in playing with silver, so I've got my silver glitter. I have my blue suede and blue glitter. So that's going to be my stacking silver on top with my silver glitter, or my blue glitter, and then my blue suede. So that's the three. Now for my leaves and pine branches, I went into three different things. So I've got my green Mary, I've got my green glitter, and I've got my green suede. So can you see all three of those? Let me pull them out this way and see if that's easier. Let's see. I have green mirror, I have green suede, and I think with that you can see why I was talking about that asparagus green, how muted that was. And this is my green glitter. So those are the three that I chose to use, and you can see these are actually the sheets that I cut for my greenery. And then these are the three that I chose for my poinsettias. Here we go. So it's fun, and I really enjoyed playing with the different textures with the poinsettias, and I think it would be fun to do that with other flowers too. So the silver on top with the glitter, blue glitter, and then the suede, blue suede on the bottom. So those are the things that I used, and I was very happy with the results. They do a little bit take away from the owl, but I was okay with that. So now the other thing that is going on here is my blue caviar beads. Now it's not as striking a blue, and I was fine with that because it's not a thing of who's going to take prominence, because my blue glitter and my silver glitter is really going to take over. And that was fine. My owl is just perfectly fine being right there watching over all of that. And I was really happy with how that turned out. So I also like the fact that my leaves are curving, and that was fun, and did a nice job of covering that and circling that bottom area. So that was good. Now these dazzles are blue snowflake dazzles out of that same package that I did in the beginning. So that worked well. The Mary is also a new package. So it comes like this, and I pulled off the backing so you could really see it. So we do this in blue. I know that's hard to see there. So I've got Mary there, but we also have it in red and green, even upside down, and gold. And let's see, another gold. So you can see it there, green, gold, red. So we've got it in lots of colors. We also have it in a pearl gold. So that's good. And so that's the front of the card. On the inside of the card, I'm using that squirrel and this paper from the 6x6 Snowfall. And again, I've done the same thing with the Christmas past cutting dies, but this time I'm using the gold caviar, And I'm using some of the red ones that are looking like the holly berries. And I've used Christmas. So I've got Merry and Christmas. And I really like that soft Snowfall paper. That works really nicely. And I love the beads there. I think that works really nicely. So not only the center of my flowers, but also I want to remember to do any of the little beads at the ends, you know, any of the little nuts or little pieces. So that's a good idea. And I did more of the silver thin line dazzles on the outside. So lots of ideas, my friend, lots of things. And notice how this spreads out even further. So that's another idea. Okay, so we don't have absolutely everything that I thought we would have, but we do have a lot of ideas, and we do have many things left. So Whispers of Winter, at least we do have as of this moment. And we have, Awesome. No, we don't have Awesome. Winter, we've got Christmas scenery in circles, we've got Christmas scenery in squares, we have winter birds, we have winter rose, and we don't have that. So we have all of those, but we do have that. And we did put together a money saver with many of the specialty papers, so that will be good for you. And they are on the right-hand side of your screen. I wrote up all the directions and notice that they are interchangeable, so that will work for you. And that's all going to be there. And just things are going quickly, and I don't want you to be disappointed. And I told you all of my the things that worked for me and the things that didn't work for me, but how I made them work. So sharing everything with you. So thank you for joining me. If you're watching this on YouTube, we hope that you will head on over to paperwishes.com because these are the only place you can get these, because we got all of them that are on the face of the planet. So we're going to share them with you. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for being part of our Paper Wishes family. Bye-bye.